BI is not a hard thing. I mean, it is not. There is no programming. If you want to escape programming, you can do that easily, because there are many alternatives like infosets and multi-providers, and in ECC they are creating views and queries, infoset queries, and you can skip programming if you are not comfortable with programming. So there are a lot of alternatives like SAP has creating SAP is creating writing a code for you when you are creating a view, rather than you are joining two tables in inner join in function module. So that SAP will do that when you are creating a database view. So that just like that you can you don't have to worry. There are alternatives in BI. If you know if you are familiar with BI system and all the options available, then there won't be any problem. So my you can see my screen, right?
I see it. Yes, I'm looking
Yeah.
at it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is very easy to get a job, and to hold on to it is not a big deal. My system has become so slow suddenly. I don't know.
Oh, maybe is it because I'm logged into it? Let me log out.
No, maybe because I'm recording the screen. Is it going to affect it or what?
Um, my screen, I see a PowerPoint trying to load.
It's too slow.
Oops. Hold on. It's coming. Oh, I think I might be able to load it. It's coming through. Let me see. It's not looking like you. Almost. Yeah, master. That's the right one. Which practice you are going to go upstairs? Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Oh, fine. So we are going to see the SAP BI data flows, and today because we are before going to the details of the BI, it is better to understand the BI as an overview in a broader picture. So once you have a broader picture, it would be easy to analyze all the different things in BI, objects in BI, so that if you are missing something, then you can get into the details, and you can explore more about a particular thing. So first of all, I will give a broader picture of SAP BI in today's class. So we are going to discuss what the project life cycle of a BI is and how it is happening, and then what is the architecture of BW, and what is ETTL process, and what was what is the 3.5 version and the 7.0 version, the differences between 3.5 and 7.0, and the data flows. So that according to me is a broader picture, and we will get see detail about of each and every objects in later classes. So typically in a SAP BW project there are 5 phases: project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, and go live and support. So what is project preparation? When a project starts, a higher level people like project managers and etc., they try to understand the legacy system landscape and the architecture of a project. So they want to understand the resources needed, and they want to plan the project, everything from budgeting and what are the trainings required for resources. For example, resources might have 3.5 version knowledge, then if they want 7.0 training, or if they want BPC training, etc., like that, the trainings required and the resources required, and what is the infrastructure of the project, and company business details, etc., all such things comes under project preparation, and this is done by the people, decision making people like project managers and managers. And business blueprint is the second step of the project. In business blueprint, and hello, are you there? Yeah, I can. In a business blueprint, understanding of the requirements, what are the modules we are going to install, and what are the reports we are going to collect, and what needed the reports, and what are the legacy reports, and what are the source systems available, and for example mainframe systems, etc., and understanding the functional specifications. Functional specifications means business need and business need and infrastructure, etc. So understanding everything about the business and the requirements is the first step in business blueprint, and designing and developing the models of data flow diagrams, and all those data flow diagrams will be put into the technical specifications later. So you are there, right?
Yes,
Because the echo just stopped of Skype, so I thought
I thought I might have been giving you an echo, so I muted the mic
okay.
so I could listen to you, and then when I'm ready to talk, I was going to unmute and then talk to you, only because I didn't want you to have a bad experience hearing
Yeah,
problems in
yeah.
my background.
It's all good. It's not a problem, because I thought when echo was stopped, maybe there is a problem in connection. So that is the business blueprint phase of the project. So in this phase, understanding of the requirements and understanding of the modules to be installed, like whether it is FICO we are going to implement, or MM or retail, or like that, all those modules requirements we want to know in we want to take decisions like that in business blueprint. And all the legacy reports means old reports, and legacy source systems means mainframe source systems, and all the data from that, how to get that data and how to collect the reports, etc. All those decisions are made in business blueprint. And understanding the functional specifications means from business point of view, from functional side, like FI and controlling and production planning and material management, all those functional side designs, like specifications and designs, and developing the data flows for the functional requirements is done in business blueprint itself. So in realization phase, SAP BW consultant comes into picture. Here in realization phase, we understand the functional specifications and we create the technical specifications, and that means it gives the details of which DS we want, which DSO we want, what are the info objects we want, and what are the data flows, etc., and everything about the technicalities of the technicalities will be decided in a realization phase, and installing and activating the standard business content as a as-is process. SAP provides business content which is a selling point for SAP, because it gives the predefined business processes for the businesses. So in ECC, that we have a business content and we use it as is process, because in metadata of BW we have all the information ready according to the as per the ECC. So when you install the ECC, the metadata business content which was in delivered version will be activated. It will go to the activated version. So for to do that process, we have to go to the business content and install them. So in order to do that, we have to first design, we have to first understand what are the requirements and what are the data flows we want, and what are the modules we want to install. So after taking such decisions, we have to do the installation and activation of business content as part of the as-is process, and enhancing the data sources, DSOs, cubes as part of the to be process. So we have to enhance the data sources, already existing data sources, DSOs, cubes, etc., which are in the system, for example, which are already running. We want to enhance them. For example, you have all the data flows for US, and if the business has expanded to Asia Pacific or Europe, in that case the business wants the same copy of cubes and same copy of data sources, everything same. For example, everything same, they want it for the Asia Pacific. So you have to build that. Sometimes you have to separately copy the cubes and create another copy and keep it for the Asia Pacific, and you have to load the data to the cubes and DSOs and multi-providers of Asia Pacific, and if there are any logics to be applied, you have to apply those logics in transformations. Like that, you have to transform the data, and it has to be same as the US data flows. So that is the part of to be process. So designing and developing the data flows, process chains, testing, unit testing, integration testing, and transportation are done in, all of them are done in realization phase. And typically we work in realization phase. And when you talk about the data flows, we have business content and custom user defined data flows, and after creating the data flows, we keep them in process chains, and we automate the processes. And unit testing means we take one record, and that one record will be validated across the data flows, and all those data flows, all those objects will be checked individually with that one record. And integration testing, we have junk data, we do the testing of all the data flows. So that is a part of the testing. And transportation, when we complete our data flows creation in development system, we transport them to the QAS, and we test them in QAS. After the completion of the testing in QAS, we transport them further to the production system, where we do go live. So the go live happens in the production system. So all this unit testing, etc., all this comes under realization phase. And in final preparation, we validating the objects in the production system, and applying the settings in the production system. For example, go live checklist, that means before you go live you have to do some settings like currency translations and all the dates, etc., and fiscal years. You have to set all those settings in a production system before go live, so that there are list of settings like units and currencies and dates and all the other things. So all the checklist you have to go through that, and you have to complete that before go live. And you have to prepare end user training. You have to give end user training to the users who are using the reports, like managers and all. They will get the user training, and they will access the reports, BEX training, etc. they need to access the reports. So that is also included in final preparation phase. In go live and support, go live means when you are done with all the configuration, all the implementation, after successfully testing it, you do the go live. After go live, the system is active. It means the real time data is coming every day. You are doing loadings. You have to make sure that all the inits are successful. Inits means when you before you keep the data flows in the delta process, you have to load the data which is available, historical data, and then you keep them in the delta process, and you add them to the process chains. So init loads should be successful, and then you execute the delta process chains, and you have to monitor the data loadings. For example, that is for that purpose there are support guys. That is the job responsibility of the support guys to monitor the data loadings and to execute the delta process chains, etc. So after go live and support is for the support purpose. So in source systems there are 5 types of source systems. For example, a BI supports 5 types of source systems. It means first comes the SAP, because the SAP has created a BI tool for business content, and all the metadata, and everything is a replica of ECC. So it has the replica of ECC BI content and metadata. So it is easy to install and use the predefined business content. And so there are 2 types of SAP connections: SAP source system manual created and SAP source system automatic created. So RFC, SAP to SAP connection is called homogeneous landscape, and it is connected through RFC connection. RFC means remote function call, and you can see that connection, SAP to SAP connection, in the transaction code SM59. By going to the transaction code, you can see all the connection details of SAP. So there is another connection called database connectivity, DB Connect. It is used to connect SAP BI systems to the Oracle systems. In this connection, DB tables are connected directly to the BI system. You can access. Yeah. That's not a part of the BW consultant. That is a part of basis consultant. Basis consultants, they must have the, they should configure the system, SAP to SAP system, and from other systems. We do our part is to create a source system in BI system, and access the data, tables, etc. from the Oracle systems and Cognos Informatica, like that. To do that, we have a source systems tab in our modeling part. So we go to the source systems and create our source system, and it will be automatically accessible. We can access the tables and views of Oracle. So generally it is a basis. People do the connection, but it is not that hard. We can do that ourselves as well. If you have some problems, if you are in support, you can go to the SM59 and check the source system, and you can adjust it if there is a problem. That is, I mean, there are minor things like you want to, for example, if there is a timestamp mismatch, then you might have to reactivate the source system connection, and then you might reload the data. So those are such minor things we can do it ourselves. So typically speaking, it is not our, you can always give it to the basis consultants, pass on to the basis consultants if there is a problem in RFC. So it's up to you. So when you, for example, if you have a source system mismatch and you have some problem in SM59, if you see that error, copy that error and paste it in Google and just click search, you will get some solutions. So following that is not a problem, or else you can raise it to the basis consultants, and then they will resolve it, and they will approach, resolve, etc. That will, a procedure will take place. So it depends on organizations as well. Sometimes there you strictly follow the rules, like some particular things are done by basis, and so in that case you just have to raise the ticket. You don't have to do anything related to the basis from transportation as well. So a issue raises when the transportation comes, like you have to give all the order of the, I mean, objects to be transported, etc., all the details, and the when the order in that order, sometimes you get trouble, I mean, transporting, because there are DTPs and transformations, etc. So there will be some problem overlapping, etc. So that case, basis peoples won't directly understand what the problem is. So sometimes we might need to work with basis people. So there is a DB connect, which is a Oracle connection. Once you create a source system for the Oracle, and you can access the database tables and views in BI system. There is a universal data connect, UD connect, which is used to connect third-party systems to BI systems. Systems like Cognos, Informatica, Hyperion are connected to BI. You can access the tables after connecting the third-party systems in BI. So there are web services. A connection is used to connect web applications, like real-time data acquisition, RDA can be connected through web application. So all these connections, if your organization, for example, when you are, generally you will get ECC connection when you are in the organization, but companies would use more than one database, like Oracle and ECC and Microsoft, etc. So in that case, you should be, I mean, when they ask you to get the database data from the Oracle system, so you have to connect to the you have to create a source system for the Oracle and pull the data from that. And sometimes they have the data in flat files, like Excel and .csv files. If they have Excel files, you have to change them to .csv files and load the data to the BI system. Like that, those activities you need to do as well. So BAPIs for other connection, business application programs, are the function modules used to connect other systems like SBase or Microsoft. I mean, this is the BAPI connection. I mean, the function modules, which are codings, they are used to connect to the other systems and get the get the data from the other systems by means of programming. So these are the connections available in ECC. Generally we use SAP to SAP homogeneous connection, and other connections most probably we can use Oracle and UD Connect. So UD Connect and web services connections are introduced in BI 7.0. So ETTL process means extraction, transferring, transforming and loading data. So this process is very important for any warehouse. So BI warehouse is not an exception. Here we building a warehouse is a very critical task. So you have to you have to do the extraction of the data, move the data out of the source systems such as R3, ECC. The challenge during this step is to identify the right data. So identifying the right data means it takes as we have gone through the different steps of the project, we have in different phases, like business blueprint, we would do all the analysis of which data to load, etc., and after which data sources to be installed from source system, etc. So all these decisions we take in business blueprint. So after that we can so that is the knowledge we need before extraction. So we from source systems we extract the data by activating the already existing data sources or user defined data sources. We have to activate, replicate the data sources, and then extract the data from source system. In data transfer, we can move large amount of data regularly from different source systems to the warehouse. So it is a burden on OLTP systems. So we move it to the BW system, and then we do reporting in BW system. In data transfer, in data transfer, are you there?
Yeah, hold on. I think something happened on the microphone just for this thing. Let me put the microphone back.
Yeah.
Headphones. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can hear my voice as well. Maybe the laptop sound speakers are on.
You can still hear yourself.
No, I don't hear, man. So in data transformation we do data formatting, because the original data might be in different formats or in different file systems. For example, as we said, in different formats means it can be in key figure format, it can be in other formats, like from business point of view. So we might have to change it, we might have to transform data by data formatting. In Oracle they might be in different formats. All those data which we load to the BW, we have to transform it to the different formats, like understandable formats, and which would be easy to take decisions, so easy for the analysis, data analysis. So all those formats will be changed here, because it can be case sensitive. So all those formats, they have to be transformed in the data transformation layer. So in data loading, we load data in the fact tables. So we need to develop a robust error handling procedure. For example, in data loading, what you do is to in info cubes, there is a fact table which get loaded when we load the data. So in fact tables there are dimension IDs and key figures data. So in transaction data, you load the data to the fact tables. So there will be some complexities, there will be some errors if there are different formats of data, or if there are special characters in the data, etc. It will give error. So in such cases you have to do the error handling procedure. So there will be different procedures, like SAP would provide help sometimes, and sometimes there are SAP notes you have to follow for different formats and for different reasons. So you have to there is a S node transaction, you have to check for the nodes available and install them. Maybe sometimes versions you need to add install the patches, hardware installation. You need to install some additional patches like that for BW. For that they comes in nodes, and SAP will install them. So all these activities will be done for to handle the errors. And basically ETTL is a complex and time consuming task. Any error in the process will lead to wrong data, which is bad for the decision making. And so for such reasons, most of the data warehousing projects are very expensive, and they are difficult to finish in budget. So this is the BW architecture. Generally you have extractor source systems. Either it can be SAP source system or it can be non-SAP source systems. You load the data, and while you load the data, there are data gets loaded through BAPIs and ALE. So there are function modules which will be acting as connection. So data will be loaded to the staging engine, PSA. Basically staging engine means PSA. Here you can get the source data in a source system format in PSA, and from that the data will be transformed and cleansed and transferred to the info cubes or DSOs, which are data targets. So there is a data manager and metadata manager. So metadata means data about the data. So it will store everything, all the related information of the data. So metadata repository means there are two types of metadatas, like one technical and one is from business point of view. For example, you are loading some data, so you have length of the fields, etc. All those comes under the technical, and some business related information means business metadata. So those two kinds of functional metadata and technical metadata is stored in metadata repository. So here in administrator workbench you have scheduler and monitor. You schedule the data loading via info packages, and you load the data to the data targets, and all that comes under monitoring the transactions, RSMO, and you do the monitoring in the transaction. So that is by using administrator workbench you can do those activities. And in business explorer, which is an analytical layer, you have a browser and analyzer for creating the queries and workbooks. You use business explorer. Business explorer is nothing but the Excel with Bex add-on. So it is a extra installation on Excel. So it is very easy, and it is very user friendly. So there are these are the list, and I have given definitions here. Metadata repository, it contains information about the data warehouse. Metadata means data about data. Repository contains two types of metadata: business related and technical. Okay. So there are there are 3.5 version and 7.0 version. Last version, I mean, in 2004 these two versions were released, and in NetWeaver we have these two versions. So in 2000 NetWeaver 2004 we have 3.5 version, and NetWeaver 2004s we have 7.0 version, which is also called as NetWeaver 7.0. And there are many differences between these two tools, from data extraction to reporting and analysis, etc. Even search functionalities, etc., are enhanced in 7.0 version compared to 3.5, but the business content is same as 3.5, and all the data flows are same, and you might even find a few clients still using 3.5 version. My last client was using 3.5 version, so it is like, they had all the data flows in 3.5, and their system is 7.0, but they don't want to change it to migrate it to 7.0 because there are few complexities, like all the data was getting loaded, and they have daily loading, etc. So for that purpose they don't want to change the data flows, and they don't want to disturb the business. Like that, there are many clients who believe in 3.5 versions to keep as is process. I mean, we just have to install them as is, and we just have to use them just as SAP has provided. So it is they can upgrade. For example, many companies, they schedule their upgrades in certain year. They don't do it day in, day or two, or like that. So it depends on if they schedule an upgrade, it can be like next year, like that. So like that, many clients are upgrading to 7.3, and there is a HANA nowadays. HANA is 100 times faster than normal BI process, because they are all flat structures, and HANA is same as BI, it is same, but hardware configuration is different. It means you will see 32 TB of RAM, like that. So it is a in-memory computing. Yeah, so that will definitely raise a lot of speed. So all the data, for example, you have 10 millions of records, which will take 1 hour in BI. You will do that 10 million loading in some 5 minutes, or maybe in 2-3 minutes. You don't know. It is a in-memory computing, and it takes very less time. So there is a huge hardware difference, though. ABAP. ABAP, I will give you the concept. ABAP, you don't have to worry about that. So I will see. For example, I am not a core ABAPer myself, but I have worked on ABAP, and I know the concept. And for example, I will give few programs, and we can do few programs ourselves on the system, and then maybe if you want to learn in detail, you can go, or HANA, you can continue with HANA. HANA is as you're learning BW, you can easily understand HANA, and you can easily it is the same concept as BW, right? Yes. So it is same as BW, but it is a hardware upgrade, and you can see the data loading processes and flat structures, how the data in memory computing is happening, etc. So that is it's not difficult. It is very easy to learn HANA after BW. So here we are in differences between 3.5 and 7.0. It is just like any upgrade from Windows 7 to 8. There are new features in Windows 8 which are not in 7. So just like you can compare it like that, and you won't find update rules and transfer rules in 7.0. So you will they are replaced with transformations and DTPs while data loading. So you won't find update. You don't have to create update rules and transfer rules. You just have to create transformation, and mostly it will be a system will propose the mappings most of the times, and after that you have to create DTP and start loading the data. So it is very flexible and it is very robust and fast when compared to 3.5. And ODS, operational data sources, which are in 3.5 versions, and for standard and transactional there is addition to that, and now the name changed to DSO, data store object, from ODS. And then one addition was there to the types of DSOs. There were 2 ODSs before, now it is 3. We have a standard DSO, right optimized DSO, and direct DSO. Before there was only standard and transactional ODSs. So there are there are a lot of changes in regarding query BEX functionalities. There is a report designer introduced which was not there in BEX before it was BEX query designer and analyzer mainly. And in info cubes you can use info sets, you can use info cubes as well. It was not there in 3.5 version. So now SAP supports 7.0 supports remodeling of info cubes, by with the help of remodeling of fact table and remodeling of dimension tables. You can do remodeling of cubes, which was not available in 3.5 version. And there is a BI accelerator, which is a hardware. By adding that hardware, you can load query very fast. You can load the data very fast, so to 10 to 100 times. So there is a separate box, BI accelerator. There is the hardware. Generally we add it to the server, and vendors for those would be HP or IBM. And monitoring is improved. A new portal based cockpit is there, and search functionality has improved. You can search any object in any step, any transaction. And transformations are introduced. In transformations there are routines, there was only start routine before in update rules. Now you can do the start routine, end routine, export routine, end routine and export routine additional to the 3.5 versions. So in 3.5 version PSA was optional. There was the IDOC and PSA, 2 options. In in IDOCs it takes each record would be 1000 bytes, and in PSA it takes 1900 something bytes, 1918 bytes or something. I have to refer that. So in PSA it will be faster than IDOCs, and it is very flexible, and maximum fields are 255 fields you can add for a record in PSA. So in 3.5 as I said, there are changes in BEX, and that's about the differences from version. And now we can see the data flow of 3.5. we have a 3.5 data source, and we have to create a info source on top of 3.5 data source, and the connection between data source and info source would be the transfer rules. For example, you don't have transfer rules in 7.0, and info source is not mandatory in 7.0. You can directly load data from a data source to data target. So here info source doesn't have hold the data, but it holds the structure of the, and and it acts as an intermediary object. So you have to create update rules to update the data structure to InfoCube, and to load the data to the InfoCube. This is a typical 3.5 version data flow. You can create queries on top of InfoCube. So these are the pseudo data flows I am giving, which means it is when someone asks you in interview, you can draw a what is the data flow of BI. You can draw that data flow in 3.5. We have you don't have to draw just like this, but you can just draw squares for the data source, and you can draw lines for the and indicate it as update rules or DTP transformations, and that's it. Like that, you can explain the data flow, pseudo data flow to the interviewer. It will be very effective. And you have in 7.0 version, for example, you have data source. You don't need to create info source between data source and InfoCube. It is not mandatory. Of course, you can create that. Most of the clients would prefer keeping the data source for structural changes. You can have you can filter the data further if you keep info source and load it to the InfoCube. So you have to create a transformation, and you have to create a DTP to load the data from source to target. So that is the typical BI 7.0 data flow, and you can create queries on top of InfoCubes, or you can create multi-providers on top of InfoCubes and create queries on multi-providers. So this is the pseudo code for the BI 7.0 data flow. So that is about the data flows in BI. So can we can start loading data from tomorrow. Master data we can start, so that
which data sources do you want me to activate?
First of all, we can see the flat file and ECC. Generally, data loading process and objects creation are the same, except that that we are loading from the flat file. So for example, we can load it from the flat file itself to to get the concept, and we can see all the objects available, and we can see business content as well. We will load the business content. So I will show you how to, by loading it, you can practice it yourself in the system. So tomorrow we can see the master data loading.